You know, things are getting wild out here when you see something like Kashtira Sprite taking down a regional first place. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So we're back on the regional grind out here, and we're going to be looking at the Alabama regional today. This regional actually is kind of an abnormality in the sense that, you know, we only had 2 Snake Eyes decks in Top Cut, but one of the things with this format kind of developing now is people are just kind of sick of playing Snake Eyes, so you're starting to see the natural gravitation of people going to other decks right now and trying those out. And I'm glad to see that we've kind of reached that point in the format, that we can see that shift actually occur here, and because it starts to kind of give the meta a little bit different of a flavor. So about time we've reached that point. Now, I think the most interesting thing out of this regional was we had Kashtira with a Sprite package actually winning this, overcoming everything else that you see on this pie chart here. How you managed to pull that one off, I'm going to be honest with you, I think is kind of hilarious, actually. I don't think anybody really considered the fact that, we've already got good mid-range control options. But what happens when we start to, incorporate some of these other extremely good cards that this package has going for it to push, the deck kind of over the edge? And honestly, I think that was one of the missing things unique, is the Sprite package, once you have a rank 2 established, you just kind of go ahead and go on into it and start going through the extension pieces. Okay. We also had 1 Salamangreat. I'm very happy to still see Salad cooking up with some of the most interesting ideas out here. We also had Branded continuing on with a force of, Fallen of Albaz's corpse, still beating it to death. We have Yubel still doing a very strong showing. Phantom of Yubel will be legal here very shortly, so we're going to watch that deck undergo its evolution. We also had Chimera good stuff, and we also had Tier Elements. Wow, we actually had, this is a diverse regional. It's what I like to actually see out here. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. Running our event here is, well, Kashtira Sprite. We are doing the 2 Nimble Anglers in here, and of course we have the triple Nimble Beaver. I mean, why would you not want to be, trying out the best little sub pieces that you can? Now, our Sprite package isn't anything like too crazy to scoff at. I mean, you're doing 2 blue, 1 carrot, 1 jet, and 1 red. All of your standard pieces that you have going for you here going to be massively easy to access and do your thing. I see we also are bringing in the 1 smashers as well, so you can have those good little control options for you here for the free bounce back, which is going to be good. We're focusing on 2 birth, which, I mean, your Kashtira package is about where you need to see it. You're not going to be going through way too much with this build, but I think that's fine. Side deck, we're actually side decking the shifters. Well, I mean, to be fair, you're not technically a full Kashtira deck, so having access to this down here in the side deck is going to be good. Post side decking, you have Change of Heart, and of course the triple mind controls, and we also have 2 tack talents here to kind of assist you along the way. Good stuff. Next up here, it just isn't a day without Snake Eyes being the deck that has to be the bully, and, hey, it was a 2nd place. Like, it didn't end up winning. That Kashtira pile had enough gas to overcome, everything that was present in the room. So we have the triple cross out. And this has been a pretty standard thing. This isn't going to change, I feel like, anytime soon. So many people love this card, playing around the hand traps, blah, 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 blah. We're back on the Agave Dragon down here. This is kind of interesting. I do know, as we've seen more and more people kind of rotating through the builds and trying out more things, actually having the Agave Dragon in the extra deck as an option to, ping for that crucial damage for time does kind of come up. Outside of that, I mean, only 2 Pobbler, still doing the double Famberge. Everything in this build, even down to the 1 tack talents in the main, everything I think is fine for this. If you still want to play standard old Snake Eyes, this is going to be the formula to do so. Ooh, meta. All right. Ooh, our Salamangreat was really in 3rd place. That's pretty freaking cool. I see this build was playing 2 copies of Crossout. Depending on your regional size, you got to still worry about the Space Rock, and I do give Space Rock a lot of crap, but you still need to understand that this card ends your day. Now, we actually are back on the Burning Draw. This is one of the things that I think truly gives Salamangreat a crazy edge right now. So if your opponent controls more cards than you do, target link monster your opponent controls, draw cards equal to its link rating. So if they have a link 4 on the field, this is a +3. And then you cannot normal summon special monsters turn you activate this card, except for fire monsters. Well, guess what? Your entire frickin' deck is fire, except for, you know, this, and this, but you don't really give two craps about that. This card definitely gives this deck something to go for. I also see we're side decking Soul Releases too. That's a completely different one as well. Wow, this deck really went back in time and really pulled up some of the oldest resources to play. Cool. Next up here is our branded 60 card pile. I see that we have the brightest blazing branded king actually seeing play in here. Quite honestly, I think this card is a pretty cool little sub piece, giving you some pretty good options, but really, they maximized triple fusion duplication in this. That's not on my bingo sheet. Most of these builds will look at this card as a one of and they'll call it a day, but you know, maximizing this to ensure that, you know, we have the highest consistency to make sure you can do your thing. Wow. Yeah, like I said, I've not seen this. This is interesting. They also cut back on Super Poly. You already know a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to go, but you need maximum Super Poly. There are just some games where Super Poly just, it doesn't really get you to where you need to be. Like, I'm sorry to say that. It's an extremely good card, but I don't know, some of the end boards of this deck, you know, sometimes has to deal with. Super Poly just isn't enough for the discard, you know? Well, who knows? Oh, so this deck is about to undergo a pretty interesting evolution. Will we finally get to see the Ultimate Nightmare show up out here as an actual choice for these builds? I don't know. I'm still kind of hoping that, you know, we will for the consistency side of things. I also just want to see the big guy in action out here. Also, 2 Nightmare Pain, by the way. That feels like a consistency nightmare. Like, I want to see this card. Like, I understand that drawing multiple of this can be bad, but it's in such a situation that, like, I don't know, you want to see it. That's an interesting debate, you know, the 2 versus the 3 nightmares. But I guess if you can see it every single game, I mean, what does it matter, right? You have the Pot of Prosperities to filter, so I really don't like that. But it did top a regional, so I can't take too much away from it for the sake of consistency. I also have the best thrust in the whole wide world, and of course, another deck in the room that gets to play Skill Drain. I love it here. Next up here, ooh, we are doing the 1 copy, the Diablaze in here. I see, of course, the triple Nightmare Apprentice. That doesn't really change. But this, we're actually playing the Light Hexseal Fusion. Ah, yes, a turbo option to be able to cheese on out our dear friend, the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. What else are we doing here? Still maximizing on this. This should never change. 2 hardcore polys built in here with the triple patchwork. I do find that this is kind of cool. This build's actually getting the chance to play There Can Only Be One. Let's kind of be honest here. It is a one of Floodgate. The fact that, you know, if you do see it in certain matchups, it kind of gets you the free win, and you want to take those as far as you can actually get them here. Outside of that, another Skill Drain deck. Yeah, how many of these decks are we going to see? I think we're up to, what, like 3 Skill Drain decks out of this event alone that are just like, oh yeah, you know, we can bring on in the Skill Drain and punish our opponents. Yay, variants. I love this game some days. Ooh, we have our Lightsworn pile here. Now, this is actually kind of cool. They managed to round this out to 50 cards. I see Danger Package is pretty strong. Wow, they're actually playing the extra names in here. We actually have Dumaltef. There's the Punishment Dragon. Okay. 2 Wolves, the 1 Felis. We are doing the 1 Raiden. That's fine. Triple Dragonling. We are not doing the Judgment Dragon. I guess it makes sense because Punishment's just a way better card for cycling back those resources. You do have the 1 Crime, the double Solic with the 1 Trivi Karma. No real change there. Side deck, we are doing the App Cologne. You have the triple Shadal Fusion. You also have the Thunder Ruler. This build also has an actual built-in out to handle, you know, purely. Once again, I mean, this deck has a huge issue handling the big cat. Outside of that, pretty go-to build. Also the Monster Reborn for the free extension. Yeah, that's what I like to see. I like this. This is actually pretty cool. As long as this deck gets a chance to go through unimpeded, it does good. And then, of course, well, our last Snake Eyes deck managed to bring up the end here. We actually are doing the 2 Delta with the 1 Gamma, with the 1 Driver. We actually managed to side the crossouts. I see we are doing the 1 Fenrir, the 2 Unicorn, play with the 1 Birth, the 1 Raceloth. So that's become more of a standardized thing out here. But they're only main decking the 1 Nibiru. I guess just on the off chance that, you know, you do run through the cross out here, you're able to do your thing. And I also see, is that Pazimo is back. Oh boy. I love seeing this card randomly show up. Well, That's your breakdown for this regional. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.